The class of Corona. Millions of students around the world are graduating, looking for work in the middle of the biggest economic collapse since the Great Depression. The lockdown generation could become a lost generation. Some are using their youth and energy to turn crisis into opportunity. What about the rest? Starting out in the business world can be tough, but many young entrepreneurs receive no state support in some countries. I've met others during this crisis who've invested so much in new ventures only to see it fizzle all away. For digital businesses, it's a little different.
Soweto, the former home of Nelson Mandela, is usually a tourist magnet. But since the coronavirus crisis, the streets have been cleared and the stores closed. Standing in front of his empty shop, Letukutula Koza feels completely helpless.
There might not be tourists coming in here anymore. So who are we going to sell to? Who are we going to make business with? Our business basically looks like it's coming to an end. It looks like it's crashing down. Yeah. So that scares me a lot. It scares me with I've got a son. How am I going to feed my son?
It's a devastating situation for young entrepreneurs. State support is only available for large companies. Experts predict youth unemployment will rise even more this year.
3 times.
But those who set up digital business models before the crisis are in a much better position to ride out the shutdown. Like yoga teacher and influencer Tidimalo Selako. 4 years ago, Tidimalo started to live stream her daily practice sessions. Since the lockdown, her number of viewers has skyrocketed.
There's a lot of demand for both of the things that we do because nowadays I'm a musician and I'm a yoga instructor, and both markets are interactive because people are looking for music and some people want to stay healthy. So in general, for me, I think it's been good. More so right now given COVID-19. She's still here.
Around 1,000 people tune in every day. The training sessions are free for everyone. Tidimalo earns money by promoting a clothing label, which she wears during the sessions. Tidimalo isn't the only one who is making the most of her digital business. DJ Cujo is also exploring the possibilities that live streaming has to offer. Together with other artists, Cujo is developing a new commercial format for live streaming gigs. He is certain that this technology is a growing trend that will last long after the COVID-19 crisis. To him, the possibilities are endless.
I'm looking forward to having like live concert, big concert, live online concerts where you can actually purchase a ticket and have some kind of code that you put in there just to get your broadcast, you know? And things are definitely going that way.
In March, South Africa's first cyber party took place. It was a huge success. With a lineup featuring many popular musicians and DJs, a mammoth 700,000 listeners tuned in to the online event. But for many young people who are losing their income, this offers little solace. Expensive internet rates and poor connectivity mean not everyone can simply go digital. Still, Koza in Soweto is trying to make the best of things. He started marketing his clothes over WhatsApp and Facebook. He says the crisis has made him rethink the way he does business.
Working on since the lockdown. I think it has taught me a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to getting out of your comfort zone and trying to make it out there, or trying to make something out of nothing. I think it's all about how you adapt to the situation that you're currently facing.
There's still room for improvement. He's sold just 2 pieces so far, but Koza says he won't let the virus win. Like many others, he's in this for the long haul.
So going digital is one way of surviving, but that won't apply to every single one of the millions of graduates looking for work while jobs are being slashed. Oliver Tucher is a professor in resilience research, which is about overcoming adversity. In this case, that adversity is a virus. Will there forever be a stigma attached to the class of 2020, Oliver?
Well, I don't think so. What we actually have learned through this crisis by asking people is that they actually do overcome this crisis very well. Although a lot of people do actually feel the burden and do have a little dip in their mental well-being, most of the people actually come through the crisis in a good way and find ways to manage the crisis. It's even what we do see is that in terms of schooling, that the graduates have at least as good grades as before, or even better grades. What we've learned just now.
What if you're one of the graduates who is struggling? If you aren't that sort of person who thrives on stress?
There's obviously there is a group, actually, it's about 20 to 30% of people, what we know from other resilience studies as well, who don't actually aren't that good as in managing crisis. And for those people, we can say that the good news is that resilience, or actually overcoming problems, is learnable. So you can actually learn about how to reappraise things in a more positive way, to regulate your emotions and overcome stress in many ways. And we have actually developed programs in our Leibniz Institute for Resilience Research, which you can find online, to do so.
How? I don't want you to take us through the whole course, but how do you develop resilience?
Well, resilience is it's many abilities of as humans. One important one we have actually looked at is the so-called being able to do positive reappraisal. So let's say for this corona crisis, there's a lot of problems from the lockdown, obviously, and not being able to go into school. But on the other hand, people got time by not commuting or not doing other things to actually sit down and learn. And that obviously helped them to overcome this obstacle. So that's one way. And the other, and to look at this in a positive way, that's one way. The other way is to being optimistic on your future, to seek help from others, social support. It's a very important thing. So be in touch with others helps you coming through crisis. And there's also something we say, or we call acceptance, right? So if we accept this crisis is hitting everyone, it's complex. You can't change it yourself, but you can do a lot for yourself and others to come through in a good way that will help you to develop resilience.
It's good to hear something positive in this crisis. Oliver Tuscher, a professor of resilience research. Thank you very much. Time to visit Derek Williams in his home office. We've had our science correspondent locked up there since the beginning of the crisis, researching your questions on the coronavirus.
Is reinfection possible?
Research on this topic, while ongoing, is still inconclusive and will likely continue to be so for some months to come. But a certain amount of what's called outlier reinfection with COVID-19 is actually to be expected. Not everyone who catches the virus will mount a strong immune response. And we know that repeat infections do occur with other coronaviruses. There are also a number of reasons why someone who tests positive once for an infectious disease can retest positive a few months after their symptoms improve, including the chance that they never really shook off the infection the first time around. I think the key question here is not about whether reinfection can happen. It's about scale. If we start to see significant numbers of people who had COVID-19 once beginning to come down with it again, then that'll be the time to really worry. But up until now, the number of possible reinfections has remained scattered and quite low, actually. And that's good, because we're so focused on the pandemic, we can be pretty sure that we're seeing most of them. And the longer the numbers stay low, the better.
Does chlorine dioxide help prevent the disease or help you recover from it?
Chlorine dioxide is another substance being touted in South America especially as a miracle cure for COVID-19. The compound has been sold on the fringes of the internet for years as a purported treatment for everything from cancer to autism. Many national health authorities have issued warnings about its dangers, but in cities that have been hit by the virus, in Bolivia in particular, the idea that it can prevent or cure COVID-19 has gained traction, and people are lining up to buy it. Chlorine dioxide is an industrial bleach that can be toxic when ingested, and there have been many reports of people poisoning themselves with it. After taking it, you can develop symptoms that include severe vomiting and diarrhea, acute low blood pressure from dehydration, and acute liver failure. There's currently no scientific evidence at all that the bleaching agent can prevent or treat COVID-19.